welcome back to the PPC. My name is Merlo. We are here on the community broadcast. And who am I? I don't even know myself, but with me, my boy, my techcaster, Kresnik, ready to give us some insight. So who am I, Kresnik?
Who are you? Well, you are someone who's been in and around high-res games for a while. I think that's a good way to say anyone who was able to vote in the past for the caster to get those special announcer packs. If you watched it, you might know Merlo from that. Also Finch, someone who every single person watching this broadcast should know as well. I hope I'm not muted. Okay, I just had to double check and make absolutely sure because that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Merlo's been in and around high-res games for a long time. He's coming in to help us out. We all know the situation that's been going on with Fawn, and Merlo has graciously come in to help out, because if it was just me, I think I would go insane.
Yeah, basically, I was in the rounds for almost 3 years, and as you can see by my nickname, I'm actually Italian. I come from the far land of Italy, 8 hours away from you, actually, so it's pitch black, pitch dark outside.
Yeah.
And English is my second language, so I'm not a super native speaker. You're going to notice
You'll
that,
barely
and
notice.
I know I have an accent. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're too kind.
I didn't even know until you said it. I grew up in New York. We got Long Island. We have a lot of Italians.
I don't have that Brooklyn accent, that very stereotypical one. Like I'm walking here. No, I don't have that.
Hey.
I have more of a slower pace.
I'm playing
kind of
Paladins
yeah.
here. Hey, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of that today. We have Interstellar Chroma Space as the first matchup. Interstellar, a team that's been kind of hot and cold. I feel like they haven't really soared to the occasion, but I think they've had good matchups against some other teams. And Chromaspace, after some roster changes, I feel like they've been struggling a little bit, but we have the map bans if you want to give those to us, Merlo.
Yeah, basically they went and banned Warden's Gate and Bazaar, and the other ones were actually Ice Mines and Shadow Desert. So
okay.
It's going to be interesting to see. As you said before, right now those two teams, they're very close to each other, at least on skill level, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do, because right now Interstellar, they need some points to actually get onto the second base, so probably onto the first or second spot, because right now they're like securing that third place. And for Chromaspace, they badly need some wins. Like they need to do some clean sets, like some trios, one after the other, just to try to get back into the first 4 positions.
Agreed. Yeah, Chroma needs to definitely fight their way up there if they don't want to get relegated, and they need to make it clean. You mentioned earlier, I mean, they're at -6 right now, map differential, so they have to fight their way to do it. And the battleground for that, Interstellar's choice, as they lost the coin flip in week 2, it's going to be Jaguar Falls. We can head into pick ban for that and take a good look at how these teams will play against each other. It's a standard map to start with, Jaguar Falls. I mean, I feel like there's 4 different maps that Fawn calls the Dust 2 of Paladins every single time, but Jaguar Falls, to me, as someone who played it competitively, this is what it is. Everyone goes to Jag. It's just the map that you always fall back on. The couple months when it was out of the ranked rotation, I felt everyone was almost sad. They'd pick maps and be like, I want to go to... All right.
I want to go there.
I
want to play
instead.
that.
We'll go to Brightmarsh instead.
It's actually, you're completely correct. You're right, because basically it's a well-adjusted, well-balanced map, but the only thing that's maybe a problem is when you're actually checking the point and the payload, you're gonna have to push against an high ground, and that could be a little bit tricky sometimes, because of course you got advantage, you got plenty of walls to hide behind, and so picks like, for example, Genos or right-click healers like Moldamba, for example, they just pop out from their cover, they just heal you up, and they can basically hide. There's lots of spots where you can basically try to dodge those flankers, and we're seeing the first bans coming in. Victor and Ash from Chroma Space. On the other side, of course, Androxus and Ruckus. Very interesting, the ban on Ruckus. Why do you think they did that?
It's just something we're seeing in Europe a lot. They seem to think that Ruckus is just insano broken. I don't know if I necessarily agree. I think Ruckus can be strong with an aggressive comp. Aggressive off-tanks really just seem to kind of be the name of the game in Europe. You're kind of seeing Ruckus getting banned. You see Ash banned on the other side. The most shocking thing to me, in my opinion, is that Victor, I think, seeing him taken out instead of the Vivian, instead of the Tyra, is a bit of a question to me, especially considering Interstellar got to pick that up first. But Xin and Terminus, to follow up for Chroma, 2 picks that I think can soar on this map, on this Jaguar Falls. It's close range. Terminus can block down sidelines pretty effectively. And I mean, yesterday in Brazil, we saw what Xin can do. Asuo Bishovindo on Carnage Gaming was dominating across that. So Chroma, they can't feel too bad about their first couple picks.
Yeah, of course. And if you're Interstellar, of course, you want to go with Vivian. She's super strong right now into the game. And of course, you want to try to counterplay against her. The interesting thing is that Interstellar just picked Inara against the Terminus. We know Terminus has like not a super easy time, but it's one of the few picks that is, strong against her.
That can actually
and
deal
at
with
least. Yeah, that it can actually deal. Of course, like Mother's Grace and everything else, you can basically hold down the point with that wall and stay there for a long, long time. But Corvus is coming up, of course, Atlas and Moldamba. Pretty interesting choice because Moldamba is super strong on this map.
Yeah, I'm mostly just shocked they didn't go with a Genos. I feel like it would be okay with them. And on this map in particular, you really want heal through walls. So you even see some North American teams picking up Grover over the Damba on this map sometimes. But that is also a little bit of a kind of regional preference. You don't see that necessarily coming from every single team here. I almost just typed Cassian twice for Interstellar. Luckily, that didn't happen, and the real pick will get picked up, and it's Eevee, so triple DPS for them. Paired with a Corvus. The Eevee into the Terminus, it's not necessarily an easy matchup, but it is someone that will force the Terminus to turn around, making him turn, making his Siphon not be able to cover the entire map is, I think, one of the bigger things you can do into him. And a Drogos to end it into a Vivian. Into a Vivian that's a little tough, but it's Jag. He can kind of play on the high ground above and spam down and make it a little bit tougher for them to deal with.
That's interesting because, of course, you have Inara. She's a solo tank right now in this composition. And you can always, when you have an ultimate available, trade 1-for-1 Drogos for Inara. And then you got Terminus, you got Atlas. They're just going to jump on point and try to hold it as fast and hard as possible. It's interesting that now with the combination of Vivian and Cassie, they got so much awareness around the map. They got so much vision. They can take with Vivian's traps, Cass's ultimate, and Eevee is going to be a pretty interesting pick as a flanker. We don't see many direct hits because, as you said before, Drogos, is going to get shut down pretty easily from Vivian. But we are going to see what's going to happen. I think the game is ready.
Yeah, it is actually. I was about to do it, but if you're going to lead in for me, I'll take it. We'll head right into map 1 of Interstellar versus Chromaspace here on Jaguar Falls. Just confirm for me, Merlo, that you can see that, so I make sure that I didn't mess anything
definitely,
up. Excellent. So we can take a look at the talents and different things here. I'm just happy, honestly, to see Deja Vu being actually played because so many Atlases pick Big Shield, which is the Temporal Divide, and I do genuinely think it's a bait. I think it is not a safe pick. But Coriol is not one to be fooled. He'll bust out the Deja Vu, have a little bit more CDR, not have to worry about that long cooldown. But Interstellar with this triple DPS, he can overwhelm their tank composition. We'll see how aggressive they're willing to start.
Yeah, we see right now Inara already on the point. But to the sides, there comes the damage. The shield is not going to be enough. Watch out, because Atlas is taking a lot of damage. Terminus is not able to cover him, and that's the first blood, of course, by Eevee. Right now, still a little bit of contesting onto the point. We saw Eevee trying to snipe down and flank that healer, that's Moldamba, but they're not being successful right now. Yeah, they're having so much problems.
Yeah, this is a great start, though. I liked how the Eevee is kind of splitting them, and now that they're stuck in here, they're getting surrounded and collapsed on this Vivian. Even into a Terminus feels unstoppable.
Ooh, Terminus going down. He is not able to actually absorb all those projectiles, and they just got the point. It's Interstellar. They're going strong. They need to push them back and actually take a couple of kills just to reset cooldowns and make people actually try to convert onto the point and regroup and then re-roll. But 81% still going on. They're not able to touch that point. And it's gonna be taken, right? About now after Inglorious death by Xin. And yeah, that's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Nepo got the overtime, but it wasn't going to be enough in the end, just because of that great dismount. Long-range chip damage from Inara. You're not normally relying on it, but Snaze just gets one pellet onto Oviv, and he can't make it to the objective, and it'll start this snowball a little bit more. Members unable to withstand this pressure right now, but it's a foregone conclusion. I just don't know why they're still staggering out into them at this point. Interstellar had a fantastic fight. Great lockdown.
Indeed, and Vivian is making that Drogos cry. He's having so much problem landing shots and trying to move around the map. Right now, they're having problems. We see Eevee jumping back and forth. She's creating so much space for her team. Right now, she still has the ultimate available. Watch out, 1 minute and 50. That's plenty of time. Drogos goes down with the trade. 1v1, and then again, yeah, they need to reset, regroup, and try to relaunch. The payload is pushing heavily.
Yeah, look at this though. They're catching someone out with the Ice Storm with Tired on this Eevee, making some great pressure. At this point, it's just, again, the tank's buying as much time as they can, but it won't. It's just more to get the rest of the team a chance to respawn. I gotta say, I think this Drogo is struggling a little bit. He's very low in the back. Managed to get that execute a little bit earlier, but it wasn't enough to turn things around. Snaze is literally already back and in their spawn door. That's the last thing you want to see when you spend it.
Oh my
god,
look at them. They're jam-packed into the back. They cannot reach the payload right now. They're super back down into the respawn, and that's going to be a clean 2-0 for them. And 40 seconds to spare. That was incredible.
Yeah, that was a great take by them, just immediately taking those tanks down. 0-7 combined between Coriol and Ovim right now across the board for these tanks. So they need to find a way to stay alive against this, but it's hard. And look at what they're playing against. I mean, again, this Eevee, this Vivian, as soon as you turn to look at Stop Banning BK, you are getting destroyed from the front by that, and the DPS not necessarily able to duel as effectively into them. We see Adium is playing a sort of aggressive build with this Propel 5, not something you normally see prioritized as highly, but he wants to dive in. The issue is when he goes in, maybe he fights and Veal doesn't find a kill right away. By the time he's done with that engagement, the rest of his team's already lost to this Vivian pressure.
They need to change something into their game plan. Right now, they're having so much problem to keep Terminus alive. He just goes toe-to-toes against Vivian, and it's a 1v1. He cannot win because Vivian has just so much damage. And of course, ammos, she just spams with the hip fire, and as you saw times and times again, he just dies. They're having so much problems. Nara right now not jumping onto the point. They're looking for kills. Terminus takes the first one against Vivian. This trade is going to be positive for him, and yeah, another one is down. It's going to be easy for Chromaspace to take the point after this one. They just need to shut down Inara, and there you go. There's another kill. And they're going to be, well, yeah, they're going to be able to actually push them back and take the point from now on.
It was a perfect use of the, I think, setback to pull away that Inara from the wall right now, and this aggressive use of the ultimate, that actually cancels the projection, and I don't know if anyone else can touch. Double Exile, Tired gets it, but he shouldn't survive once that's up.
Indeed, now the point is captured, and they're ready to go. Watch out for Cassie, she can dive pretty easily, but they don't have no follow-up for her. Zin is way on the other side, not so easily available. Yeah, Inara tries to go in with the shield, set back, and that's another kill. Yeah, they're playing fine, they're playing super strongly right now. Terminus has an ultimate ready and available for the next matchup in case, or if they need to super struggle onto the payload, onto the last push. Right now, still one-on-one against Vivian. Sim's doing fine, but she's resilient with that shield, and they're just gonna wait. Right now, the high ground does nothing for them.
That was just a brutal burst of damage there. I mean, there was nothing else Stop Any BK could really do to stay alive, but Interstellar look like they can stabilize. Right now, this Cassie, this Inara might trade some kills, and they will, so not much more the payload can really go over him at this point, hoping that he can keep it going, but we do have a pause, which means we will jump back to us. Maybe a little bit of too much of a split there, in my opinion, right? I saw Inara and Cassie dueling everyone in the back. I get that they went in pretty deep to fight and try to take down the back line, but with Ovim and Sensovsky stuck on the objective, having to move it forward, one of the bigger things about Paladins is unless you get clean wipes as you move, you're stuck at the speed of the cart. You can't stack more people on it to speed it up. You can't do anything else. You have to only fight as long as the cart takes. So if you go too far ahead of your healer or of how the cart's moving, maybe you fight, maybe you can win one engagement, but their spawn advantage is so great that one pick on you when you get 3 picks on them could end up turning in their favor if you don't have that cart close by to actually finish the push.
And then again, Jaguar Falls is such an equal and well-standard map that you have to use resources to actually block the payload. Yeah. If you use them all at once, you got nothing for the next matchups, and you can easily go 3-on-3 on this particular map. So what do? Do you expend everything you got just to block onto the high ground and try to reset? Or do you keep it for the next round in case you are able to defend?
We'll see what they are willing to spend. But a disengagement here, you can see them leaving right now. It'll end up just being kind of stalemate. Ovim and Sensovsky know, and them resetting I think is super smart, right? Them backing off to not feed credits, feed alt charge, all these different things to Interstellar that they could be using, I think would be a big deal. But with people coming back, they can fight again, and Snaze might be overstepping his boundaries with the amount of people close by.
Indeed, watch out, they're all onto the stairs. They need to be very careful and aware about that Inara. She's very low right now. She could be the next kill. Oh, she's trying to go so hard and the kills are traded. Drogos is gonna go for the 1v1 and try to trade something. No, he just escaped from Vivian. Okay, that's fine for me. But now Vivian trying to push them back as soon as possible because we got 50 seconds to spare. It's gonna be more than enough for at least one last tragic push. We're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Barcode actually played that fight, I think, fantastically. He sat right here in the same position. They just didn't look at him right. Everyone was stacking face to try to kill Snaze on this Inara. Managed to sneak by, and look at that. Open wanted to fight him too, but Fell missed the jump, which means Barcode can just keep this area held down. And look, Adium literally can't even move. There's nothing they can do until they dislodge this Vivian.
Indeed, and now 33 seconds to go. Rockets having so much problem against this Vivian. They still got CC, they still got Inara's ultimate ready to go. And they can be blocked, they can be picked off right now. Atlas onto the side. They're not doing much, but right now, yeah, Inara, you see how tanky she is. She's just doing anything in her power to try to pick this payload, and they just got a couple of kills. They unlocked it. They're back down with the spawn. It's overtime. It's gonna be super risky, and there's no way they can actually touch it. There's no tank available right now. There's a little bit of a touch right here, but they're gonna trade with the Cassie. That's gonna be 2-on-2, and they used a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue for that for Chromaspace, I mean, yes, they got it, but if they had saved Resurrect, if they had saved that Reanimate, they would have held on to comeback mechanic. Yeah, I know you don't want to give them match point, right? But having Reanimate, having that comeback means you're more likely to win that fight and snowball and make the last fight be more decisive. Now they're staring down no comeback mechanic, no Reanimate, which I think is the biggest thing for them. Something that they really, a resource they really needed for this fight. Having 3 tanks instead of 2 is a fantastic resource to have. But now instead they're staring down the seismic crash, all these things that Interstellar saved that they can now use, but Chromaspace only really have reactive things here. They only have Dragon Punch, Exile, and unless Sensatsuki gets pressured early, they might be able to get that Dread Serpent too.
It's a little bit of a breather, but right now we're gonna see if Eevee does the magic right now. It's gonna be difficult because Chroma Space, they came back pretty easily from that round. We saw the 2-on-2. We're just gonna watch out and witness if there's a kill coming on. Drogo's trying to find his target. Oh, and he goes for the kill. Traded 1-on-1. Once again, the solo tank is out, so basically Chroma Space, they're gonna have a tough time to actually contest because it's just 2 people against 5 of them full alive and well. Corvus doing magic. You just got so much sustain from him, and yeah, they're doing everything they can to push them back, and they're gonna be successful because right now 78%, and there's no contesting coming from the other side.
The biggest problem with Atlas as one of your tanks, if you want to get that late retouch, his only movement goes out. There's no going in further with the rewind unless you're already there, so we can't really get that kind of dramatic touch. But pressure right now early. Vivian finds a kill on this side and wants to find more.
Interstellar, ooh, nice. Vivian goes for the double kill. She's ready to go. She's ready to roll, and then again, Witness. She's gonna slow them. Inara, great wall right there to block off for the kill. The healer is down. Yep, Moldamba is gone. Permanence is gone. They're just pushing so hard, and they got 2 minutes, and they're already way half across the map.
Yeah,
I don't know if Chroma Space is gonna make it, actually.
It's possible. We'll see. We'll see how the respawn goes. They can spend this Dread Serpent. It's a resource that is decent to spend here. 1 minute and 45 seconds left means they can get it recharged in time. I think it's just about how well they can protect their DPS. But look at this Ovum! He splits off, goes another lane, and Adium takes a bunch of damage for free.
Right now, they're starting to push hard and hard and hard. And again, you see Terminus still 84% on his ultimate. He's going to be able probably to respawn, but Van Damba, ooh, he's super far away. Tries to dodge. He's going to get covered. Inara trying to do as much as he can against this Atlas, and the kill is gone. Drogos takes another one. They need to be super aware right now. As you can see, the payload is not moving at all. Chromaspace trying to defend as much as possible. Terminus has the ultimate. They need to reset and regroup, but once again, the kills are coming from Eevee. Super good onto the backside. Terminus is gonna respawn, but he's completely alone. No kills are found. The shield is there, but yeah, they cannot do anything right now. The push is super hard to do. Drogos is trying to get some health back, but nothing to do, and Cassie takes the last 2 kills. And it's a victory for Interstellar.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that they had to stack both of their tanks on the objective there near the very end. We saw that maybe if Coriel didn't have to commit to point as that Atlas, maybe he plays on the far right side, right? Maybe he can actually stop the respawning Cassie and Vivian from pushing into his Drogos and getting rid of their only real source of damage near the end. They just couldn't do it. They had to go on the point to shield Ovim after the reanimate, or else he would have just died. There was no way he was going to live through that. So I think just tough for them being unable to make that work. We can look at how things kind of came out with the stats, which we have right here, both of these teams. I just want to point out really quickly 2 name changes since these games were played. Unfortunately, Kiesel for Interstellar changed their name to My ADC is Bad. That's actually pretty good. And Stop Banning BK went back to his previous alias on Eevee of Tired.
And of course, you can see that Aaron Lee basically did the hard lifting inside of the Toast team fight. It took most of the kills, but Vivian was the best matchup against that Terminus. He had so many problems, especially in the first 2 rounds, to try to compete against it. Of course, if you have Terminus against the Victor, against any other DPS, you can basically absorb everything. You're fine, and you're trying to counter-react in team fights, or at least inside the point. But right now, we saw that Vivian just spams that left click. She goes with a hip fire, and it's super easy for her to just, out-tire the enemy tank right now. So, he had no possibility to just escape and do anything else. Useful for the ultimate, but was not enough in the end.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this right now at the KDs, surprised on this Corvus, not really dying only once. But Enviel, I think, for me, the silent hero of that game, 13-2, only dying twice. 3 less times than the Vivian. Snaze also kind of being the one to absorb all the damage and get away with the most. But still, I think a great performance across the board by Interstellar into the Chroma draft. I don't know how I feel about that, about the Drogos that they ended up picking. I get the concept of it, but I just don't know. You're basically saying, hey, I'm going to have the best game of my life and we might still lose. That's what that is, right? You pick Drogos for your DPS, and he's like, well, listen, you have to literally become the best player in the world. You have to hit every single rocket you're going to fire this entire game, or we're probably not going to be able to trade out into the DPS that they brought. So it was a risky pick. Adium did a decent amount of damage, but you have to have such a monstrous performance to make it work that I never thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, the amount of effort is basically worthless. Is not a good strategy or viable, because in this case, you had the trades. You had those trades with the ultimate. Consistently, he was hitting in aura each and every time. But the problem is that basically your team was dead onto the other side. So your backline was completely exposed. And most time than others, as soon as he hit his ultimate, he was dead soonly after. So basically, you're going to trade one-on-one, but then you're going to die. Your team is not going to be able to hold on to the point. It was super risky. I mean, we appreciate to see a little bit of difference, a little bit of variance inside these games. But then again, there are much better picks into the meta right now that you can definitely use onto the backline. Yeah. But still, commendable. I don't want to throw garbage just because it took Drogos onto the first game. We still got many and plenty games to go. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what they're gonna pull off into the next round.
The map they want to go to next, which I have lined up, not fully prepped to go into picks and bans, but I do have the next map picked, and it's going to be Stone Keep. So Chromaspace want to go to Stone Keep, and this is a map where, at least in the PPL in the past, I always said you could go here with Drogos, even with counters, as long as you play around cover properly. But it's a different meta now. Drogos has had some changes. Wormjet's not really able to get you as high and far away as it used to, and there's so many good hit scans. You really have to kind of prioritize banning those characters if you want to kind of get away with that. We can jump into pick bans, though, and see how Chromaspace changed things up.
Yeah, and as you said before, hit scans are king right now into the meta,
for sure.
And snipers are king too. So, and in a map as Stone Keep, you have so many different options. You can go higher ground with blasters and try to shoot down onto the point, or you can basically take the backline and try to snipe across the field. You still have pretty decent picks as Kinessa, for example. You still got, the ability to choose Vivian and just go brrr and take a bunch of kills. You have so many options right now.
Take down the right trigger, leave the room.
You just go in there. And as you can see, interesting bans from Interstellar, very spot on, because with the Ruckus, you can actually go in and try to do a little bit of suicide, like you go full kamikaze, you jump onto the enemy backline and try to trade as many kills as possible before you go down. And Victor and Corvus are gone, so Atlas is going to be the first pick for Chromaspace. Interstellar, they're going to go with Inara and Vivian, of course. What do you think about these picks? I don't know. I don't care about Vivian, more about Atlas in this situation.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you right now, Chromaspace should probably, even if you don't, Chromaspace probably should be caring about the Vivian, because it's going to be very hard to play against on the other side. Well, we saw some value out of the Atlas, though. They have multiple ways to get rid of her shield, right? With the Deja Vu splash, with the last game they had the Terminus as well to use that crush stun, so a couple different, I think, ways for them to get it down. It looks like a really similar start from them, too. I think even down to the Damba, almost an identical, different order, but similar looking draft here. The Xin I didn't think was that bad last game, and this is going to be a better map for him. I feel like having more kind of flexibility. You can use a dash to dash off of the edge up top and go really far into the enemy backline, get very, very aggressive. A lot you can kind of get away with, and hey, why not pick the Eevee again, I guess, right?
Yeah.
If it worked before, it can work here on Stonekeep as well.
Of course, if Andraxis is banned from Interstellar, Eevee is the next best thing. Genos, of course, great pick for them. And there's so much verticality right now that you can use. If she goes again with, multiple blinks, if she wants to jump in and out of fights, she probably can make a mess inside the enemy backline. Terminus is going to be picked against Inara once again. And we have Cassie, pretty strong and decent pick right now on Stonekeep. And what's going to be our last one, I wonder?
Yeah, the Cassie, I kind of like them going the Cassie here. She's just such a safe pick, right? No matter what Interstellar picks last, it's going to fit decently. It'll be Kinessa, though. So Kinessa, I think, makes sense to me, at least in EU. She's being picked quite a bit on a lot of different maps, mostly with the specialists, and I think Enviel would probably be the one flexing onto that for them. So Enviel can definitely play it. I haven't seen as much of him on Kin as I have some other players, but it seems like, I'm assuming he's French, just judging by the roster for the team. I feel like any French player picking up Kinessa always performs for some reason. It's just the Paladin stereotype, but it always seems to end up working out. Interstellar should have a solid performance here, but if this Xin can get into the backline, which if they control high ground, which would be easier to do with double tank, he might actually be able to fight this Kinessa and not let her help trade into that fight on point between that Term and that Inara.
Yeah, as I said before, Kinessa, pretty decent pick on Stonekeep. They got at her as a last pick. Interesting. I wonder if she's going to be able to have enough space to actually hit those targets. Because as you said before, they can jump pretty easily onto the backline in Stonekeep itself. But she also has great escape mechanism. She can just blink away. Not easy. It's not the same as Eevee, but she still has some safe capabilities, and she can reposition from many places. So she has the most mobility on high grounds. But then again, if you have a Xin that is chasing you down constantly over and over again, you are going to do very little damage onto the backline and front line of the enemy team. So I hope Chromaspace has the Xin locked in place and ready to go just to counter these picks, like Genos, who's going to escape, and Kinessa. I think we're ready for the game.
Yeah, I think we are too. We'll see how they manage to deal with this Kinessa if they do send this in on. But I think you were right. You said that you can make them teleport away, you can make them reposition. Sometimes that's as good as killing them if they're far enough away from the fight, right? If the fight is elsewhere and you force that Kin to teleport away, suddenly it just doesn't matter as much. You have them way out of the fight. You win the fight on the other side. Enviel maybe re-pushes and goes, all right, guys, I'm here. You're all already dead. Goodbye. And they say that's what happens. Sometimes it's more than enough.
Exactly. As you said before, she can escape easily, but it's hard to reposition yourself after you being pushed off. And we're going to see what's going to happen right now. Atlas and Adium goes for the first kill. Going to go for a second one right now. They're trying to contest as much as possible. Inara, those dang walls out of the way. Atlas trying to absorb as much as possible, and it's a pretty stalemate situation. Nobody's really going all at it onto the point. What do you think is that?
I mean, stalemate on the point. I just think they're trying to win a fight before they engage, because Interstellar doesn't necessarily want to get surrounded. But look at this, that when they finally move to the point, guess what? Snaze falls. That's exactly what they were avoiding, and Adium follows up with another.
And that's 2 kills in a row, 66% going on, and we see they're gonna chase hard against the Kinessa. Yep. It's gonna be interesting. Eevee takes a kill, and Cass is trying to snipe onto those doors and try to keep people away. 99% to go. They got the point. They just need a little touch from Eevee. She just gained so much tempo for her team. Inara is able to jump onto the point immediately, and Eevee just tries to go on and on, once again, trying to poke and try to do as much damage as possible. Kinessa tries to snipe Eevee. Nice comeback right there. And they're still trying, but it's super difficult because the backline is basically assaulted by the entire enemy and the entire composition of Chromaspace. Terminus is still trying to go in, and that's the double kill for Kinessa. That's pretty good, and that's a triple coming in, and if she's gonna go over the Terminus, that's a quadra kill. Amazing. And they basically got the point.
I'm losing it laughing because he didn't want to kill that Xin. The Xin just gave himself to him. He just like flicked slightly down like, all right, fine, I'll get that double kill. Jeez, if you're going to give it to me like that, and Interstellar on the back of Enviel, they'll walk away with that first cap. And looks like Barcode here on this Vivian, constantly a threat, and they have to send 2 tanks to deal with them.
Yeah, indeed, they're going to do plenty of damage right now. They're narrowing the corner. And they're going to try to do as much as possible. Terminus on the verge of death, and he still has 78%. Of course, you don't want to waste an ultimate right here, but yeah, they're doing God's work right now. Cassie trying to dodge and snipe onto the back line. Eevee is going to give her a hand. Yeah, no can do. Cassie tries again to defend. Yeah, they're super low.
Finally, they can get healed back up. It looks like just some time of taking damage, needing to get healed back up by the Damba once he had LOS, but they're just losing this kind of war of attrition, but Enviel will keep things swung against their favor again.
Eevee's trying to take that, Eevee's trying to go into the backline, but she's not taking kill against anybody unless it's Cassie, because Cassie's just so squishy. She's just gonna struggle. Even though you have a vault, you can escape. It's not so easy. The chase potential is big, and they're pushing hard, and they're pushing fast, and they're already approaching onto the respawn. They're gonna try to do a bunch of kills, and then try to take them, because right now, of course, you're basically backed up onto the respawn. It's pretty easy to defend because you have the high ground. And we're going to see what Vivian is going to do. And yeah, Eevee takes a double. Vivian takes the other. Terminus actually respawned right here. I don't know why, because the game was pretty much over. And it's a 2-0.
Yeah, I was going to say unlucky, but I mean, that was a decision he had to make. I don't know how much luck factored into that. He pressed the button that reanimated him, and Ovim now down an ultimate going into the fight here. Interstellar just looks so in control of the map. I feel like they always have an idea of what's happening around them. Enviel not really being pressured the majority of that mid, and I think maybe Adium has to look a little bit more towards that direction to fight him in the back line. Chromaspace is keeping up on heals. They have 2 tanks to be pocketing, but the healing's there. I feel like Adium and Nepo doing okay damage-wise. They're just not finishing any kills, and that should be the weakness of the comp from Interstellar. They shouldn't be able to fight these super sustained fights. They're just kiting away so at such good times that the rest of the team can kind of peel for them, and they need to get some more aggression in. They need to actually follow up on these kills and not let Genos re-heal the entire team.
Yeah, of course, if the fight drags out, you can basically snipe and get those last hits with Kinessa, as we saw before with the quadra kill. But yeah, they need a least of different game plan, because right now it's not working. As you can see, Kinessa just took another kill onto their side. They're trading pretty evenly. Eevee is going to chase down the Xin, and the kill is not coming because Xin is so much stronger right now. Yeah, Moldamba healing so strong right now. Yeah,
plus the Xin cauterize cleanse is another big part of it, right? Even though Tired was hitting him, he was able to cleanse that caught and get pocketed up due to that. But Interstellar, they didn't really get on the cap that fast, so Chromaspace, even though they have the cap now, Interstellar's back in position, ready to fight with barely any cap time gone.
Indeed. 3 of 3 to 40%. They're ready to go. Kinessa takes another snipe, and Eevee does the rest of the work. Even though if you're not killing with Kinessa, if you do at least enough damage, you can swipe up with Eevee pretty easily. Because she can just fly, bounce back and forth, and take those last hits. And as you can see, the problem is after the kill. They're not jumping onto the point. Yes, they have Inara, but Inara is basically getting shot at from 3 different directions. So right now, they're having so much problem, even though they're making most of the kills.
Yeah, they're able to make it work with that, but you can look right now with Interstellar backing up. The Inara even with that cap time, she can't make it back in front of them. Both the tanks locked on the other side. Nothing else gets traded out, even with Interstellar winning this refight.
Yeah, and Chromaspace takes the point right now. There's a little bit of trading, but plenty of time to go. Stonekeep, yeah, it's difficult to push as soon as you get onto the door, onto the main gate. But right now, they should be able to repossess, regroup, and do a little bit of damage. The trading is still going strong. Eevee right now got shut down by Cassie, and yeah, they need to retreat. They got, of course, the Janus ultimate to clear up a little bit if they want to engage. But as you can see, yeah, Inara is gone. She just took a little bit of time, and the payload is now going to move and move slow as usual.
Oh, that setback. That'll set up a kill for Adium again, who I think has been really just turning it on so far in this game. I think he's been a force for them, and good on Tired not getting out of that ice block, because he would have died across the map from this Xin, doing so much right now for Chroma Space. But like I said earlier, they're kind of just, they have to wait for this payload to move. They can't do anything first, even with Adium kind of testing the waters and maybe getting walled in. But here comes the aggression from Interstellar.
Indeed, and there you go with the Janus ultimate. The cleanup crew has come finally. The problem, and the main problem in general, is you need to take the Eevee down. As soon as she goes down, it's easy. You don't have so much blinks, you don't have so much projectile coming onto the back line. The healer is going to be safe, and Maldamba can basically move with the entire team. But if Eevee doesn't go down, and you need Xin for that, it's going to be troublesome. They are bound to have so many problems. Because Kinessa's going to die eventually. It's easy to jump onto her. But Eevee, yeah, she's the real problem right now.
Yeah, if you can get aggressive enough, you can make it a lot harder for the Eevee, though. If you catch the Eevee's wormhole position that she blinks back to after getting aggressive, then it's a little bit more difficult. You can see some great juking down here, though. This Eevee can just kite around. The shield keeping Coriol alive, but look now, both tanks are here to find her. You were right, this is the threat they gotta clean up.
And they are not able to finish her. She goes back into the respawn, and they lost so much time. Yes, the payload was moving, but that kill was essential. And right now, as we can see from a top-down angle, we're going to see Inara tries to do as much as possible. Eevee takes another kill onto the tank. Terminus having so much problem, and Eevee just healing herself. And that's another kill, and she just barely survives. Kinessa giving out a hand. And there you go. She's just sniping, checking corners, giving information. She's doing so many plays. Like, she's the playmaker right now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what you have to be at this point, right? Your backline is your line of defense. Once you push through that choke point and then you're looking down the barrel into that Kinessa, that's when the Kinessa is really going to kind of open up. You can see Envil top damaging right now. But when the cart is around that second corner, Envil's not going to push too far forward. So it's all on Tired and Barcode to really push. And it seems Barcode's really willing to get aggressive. Look at this Vivian, 7 deaths compared to the Inara's 4 and their Genos is 0. So maybe a little overzealous there. Maybe just being kind of caught off guard by Adium on this Xin, I feel like. Again, it's been great by him catching them out, using that spite, I think, to isolate targets. With Yomi, that's really all you can do with it. You can't really get as much done with this spite. You have to use it either from ability or to set up for your team, because it's kind of a minuscule amount of damage and you're so weak the entire time. We'll see what he can do with it this time. Only halfway charged, but he's doing enough damage to get it pretty fast.
We got Terminus onto the back line. He has an ultimate ready, but he's already dead, basically. Yeah, he needs to be more aware and pay more respect to the combination of Kinessa and Vivian. And of course, we didn't focus on Vivian for so much time, but she's super strong. Remember, she's like super in meta. You of course know that, you know that, and we're talking about my TechCaster in chat. And there you go, another kill from Xin. Situation is a little bit unlocked, and they're gonna just jump back into the respawn and wait. Chroma Space doing the magic plays. Yeah, you need to pay respect to that DPS.
Oh my god, that spite, that was perfect. I was talking about how they need to find value from the spite once he gets it. He charged it super fast and then catches Eevee on the wormhole with it, so great play by them. I don't even know if Interstellar will make it, Snaze. He might kill the Atlas, but he won't touch the point, and Chroma gets another objective.
Indeed, and there you go. Of course, if Eevee dies, the team collapses. They're basing everything onto the cleanup crew, as we can say. Of course, Kinessa does the damage, Vivian has the sustained DPS, and then of course, Eevee goes onto the back, takes the kill, goes back. If Eevee dies, basically you're able to take down this fragile composition, because what do you have that it's tanky and bruisey? You got nothing. You just have basically Inara trying to do a couple of walls, you know, and try to stay on to the point. Right now, Terminus and the others understood that, and they're trying to push as hard as possible.
Unfortunate by Nepo actually kind of saving the Vivian, booping them away. But look at this, look from Barcode right now on the back. Inara does get 2, but Barcode flanks all the way around, and Ovim literally has to walk all the way from the cart, all the way back to keep. And Barcode, 30% movement speed. You can't keep up with him. He's just so much faster than you. He's just going to walk away and set up Interstellar for their defense here. Chroma, they've never really looked this pressed far back, but be another misstep from Barcode. He has to disengage.
They were hoping for a couple of kills in church. This is not gonna happen right now. Kinessa trying to do her best. Genos doing mad heals over time, but yeah, it's not enough to keep up with the balance and keep up, of course, with the opposition. Right now, Cassie takes another kill, and then we'll unlock the next push. 1 minute to spare. That's plenty of time on Stonekeep. They just need to push hard and use those ultimates. Because right now, what do they have? They have Terminus that can just basically jump onto the backline and respawn. They have Xin, who can catch up Eevee off guard. They got everything. And Cassie is going to give the vision necessary to basically see where they're going, where they're hiding. And yeah, they got every single utility into their belts to use right now. And yeah, that's the feedback.
Biggest issue is going to be what they are willing to get spent on them. As Crash comes in, but it doesn't find anything, and Coriel's still absorbing damage on the other corner.
Inara's still alive? I don't know about that, but okay. She was super low. They didn't have the chance to kill her, and we got 20 seconds to spare. 17. They're not using ultimates, but they need to push hard. At this point, I don't know if it's even worth it to use them. I'll just wait for the next round.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I were them. I mean, I don't think I even would have on the push initially, even if it gets you the point, right? Then you're in a round that can end the game with no ultimates while they have everything that they want on the other side. So I think definitely a smart decision to hold on to it for them. And they got to feel good about that Seismic Crash. They got that. And the Ice Storm got spent earlier just to take down Adium. So 5 ultimates strong are Chromaspace coming into this. Coriel really struggling on this Atlas. That is kind of just... It just be like that sometimes when you're playing Atlas with big shield. You have that huge cooldown. You have to be willing to throw it out to save your teammates, and then without it, you just have no real way to sustain yourself afterwards. So I think Coriel doing a decent job now having to rush this Chronos to get some more CD sustain a little bit better. We saw him already get isolated earlier by the Nanara by the wall, I think at a decent position here. Healing an advantage of Sensovsky, and we'll see if they can keep that going. But it's just so hard for him to heal if the fight's happening in the open, right? He peeks out to one person and ends up getting annihilated by the Kinessa.
Genos tried to do a little bit of sniping right there.
Well,
in combination with them. Yeah. They're trying. Of course they're trying in the repositioning, but yeah, Inara is gone, and now they don't have anything to just bait and get onto the point. Right now, Kinessa having a little bit of trouble. Vivian is dead. They don't have DPS. They got, the full map from themselves. 41% to go. And yeah, I don't think the situation is gonna be okay for Interstellar. They had an amazing couple of rounds, amazing couple of points, but right now they're feeling the heat. They're having so much problem.
Yeah, they just get overwhelmed up top. They need to maybe fight the mid in a different way. Look at that, Snaze bleeds out, but guess what? Terminus has reanimate, and he'll spend it, so they get an extra tank, and Interstellar has none. Indeed,
so much time is going on. Overtime is gonna pop. 99%. Xin is gonna take the kill onto the enemy healer, and they got everything. Double kill, of course the payload, of course they're gonna kill the others because they're all alone and without any means to support themselves. And yep, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a huge advantage for Chroma Space.
This Eevee Xin matchup is not one we normally think is super Xin favored, but Adium is really making it look that way with how aggressive he's able to get onto this. It's usually like a skill matchup, evensies, maybe map dependent, but Adium is just getting aggressive enough to make up for it as he slowly gets chipped away by these mines from the Kinessa. Early damage on Barcode, again, I still feel like he's pushing up a little bit too much on his own, but you kind of have to with a single tank composition, and Adium finds him.
And there you go. The problem with the single tank composition is each and every single DPS you lose, you basically lose priority. You don't have anything to push back because you don't have enough bodies to basically out DPS the enemy team. So right now they're having hell of a problem. It's gonna be the final point. They need to use every single resource they have in store because they cannot afford to lose this one. Terminus is gonna be there. Look at the snipe. Oh, that was amazing. That was pretty good from Kinessa.
Yeah, straight Straight through that siphon. It was exactly what they needed. It didn't go through it again, but he caught him in that one moment it went down, that small little 1 second cooldown, able to kind of really make that difference. But Ultimates, maybe they're willing to spend this exile for it. All I can think is, let's look at the resilience here. A decent amount, none on Enviel actually, so you could just exile this Kinessa twice in a row, let your team take a 4v4 without the player on your team that's going 18-3. I think that's a fair fight for Chromaspace.
Indeed, they're gonna try to do that. I don't know if they're able to, but yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to witness, of course, Chromaspace trying to push as hard as possible. Inara cannot do anything onto that side lane, and they're just cramping up onto the high ground, trying to take those kills. Vivian is gonna punish Atlas right there and now. Moldamba trying to get those heals, but he's way behind. It's gonna be difficult, of course, because there's so many walls, and it's impossible to him to go that vertical. Ivy right now, she didn't see the Moldamba. She's trying to get a kill on Cassie, but Terminus is gonna be there trying to defend and try to block them. Once again, it's gonna come to the last round. We got 3 points. Resources were not spent. And yeah, we got all the ultimates ready for Interstellar. We see the push coming out from Chroma Space. Terminus is still there. They're taking kills by kills. Inara is down. They got no bodies. Genesis is gonna try with the shot. Evie right now trying to be a body, but yeah, she had to blink back. And the victory goes to Chroma Space. Great job.
That's what happens. I always talk about this. Every single time we ever see Stone Keep get played, I say, I really don't think I see triple DPS win on this map that often. You have a player going 18, 20 and something by the end. When we see the stats, we'll be able to see it. And it's still not enough. You need 2 tanks to hold that map, I feel. Unless you just outclass the opposition so much. You really want that extra pressure, but you lose the Inara. Snaze has to use the DR a little bit early to fight on the side with the Atlas. Doesn't want to get caught by CC. When that DR is up, he dies, and then the rest of Interstellar can't do anything. They can't rotate over in time to fight it. We can look at the stats and see exactly how things ended up. Even with the damage firmly in favor of Interstellar, Chromaspace sneak away with it by the end.
Indeed. As you said before, you need to out-damage the enemy team, or at least take 3 kills in a row or something like that, which they did in the first round. And then they easily pushed back onto the second with the payload, and they got that 2-0. But the problem then stems from the fact that you have a Kinessa. Yeah, that's good if you want to try to outsnap, if you want to try to shot and, takes those big bodies, those big tanks down. But on the other hand, if Xin chases you down, you're gone. And Evie on the other side, Evie was making those plays, but then she got focused so hard, she wasn't able to do anything. And Terminus knew he needed to detach from the main fight and just go after her. He was chasing, he was helping Cassie out, he was helping Xin from time and time again. So yeah, the problem stemmed from the fact that Evie was the playmaker. As you can see, like 15 kills and 18 on Kinessa, and then she rapidly started to die over and over and over there. That was a problem.
She absorbed a lot of pressure, though. I mean, they had to put a lot of eyes on her. The problem was, even with the Kinessa, they weren't really able to trade kills in time, right? At least on the defenses. Tired was buying so much time. He was blinking behind people, he was blinking over people's heads. They were trying to shoot him. You saw Adium just sitting in the bottom left corner, swinging his sword, constantly trying to just chip the edge of that Eevee sitting at low HP on that little corner. But even then, they couldn't find it. They wanted to have Enfield trade kills in the meantime, but he couldn't on those last defense. I think that's really what held it. Tired made a lot of space for them, but it didn't end up mattering because they just lost Snaze trying to hold 2 lanes at once.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem. It was not a problem of pick per se, but more of a problem of execution, because they had that first. I wanna hammer that point in. They had the first round, and it was an amazing first round, but it was enabled by a quadra kill coming from Kinessa. She just took all of the shots and basically finished off what Eevee and Vivian did first. And then again, as you saw, and I think you noticed, Vivian was not super present into this game, even though it was one of the first pick, and it was super important, and they needed to be aware of that particular DPS. But yeah, she was not giving enough space, and the pressure was not there at all.
I think the real reason that they went that way was because I mentioned this earlier when Barcode went on a flank. I'm like, wow, there's a pretty cool flank by him. But that's because we saw what Ovim did. Ovim said, I am going to take Vivian out of this game and I'm going to do nothing else. Because he rotated. He was in main. He was looking at the card. He could have pushed and said, target sighted, and just walked all the way over just to be facing her face to face. That was part of why Barcode couldn't do much of anything. Every single angle he wanted to take, Terminus Siphon was there. That's why people picked Terminus in the first place. He's one of the best counters in the game to that Vivian. So I think valuable to pick that up, valuable to run that into him. And I like the way that they did it. I think it was part of why Barcode went 8-13 and couldn't do exactly what they wanted. But Interstellar now, they won that first map, I thought, pretty handily. After a close loss there, they're going to want to go to something, I think, similar to Jaguar Falls. So they decided Brightmarsh will be that map. And we have picks and bans ready. I'll change that map in a second. Actually, did not press the button that sends that change live, so we'll do that right now. But Brightmarsh will be the map for Interstellar and Chromaspace, and we'll see how they change things up on map number 3.
I actually like Brightmarsh because everything will work, anything at all. Like you can try. Maybe snipers having a little bit of a tough time right there, but yeah, you want to DPS, you can go. You want to go full flank, you can do that. You want to put as much bodies as you can and possibly want to inside the point, you actually can do that. The problem is that the first way of the map when you're trying to contest is basically box-like, so tanks are going to be screaming in pain time and time again. But yeah, you have so many possibilities. Flanks have so much to gain from stairs, and just going behind the enemy's team, they have so many buildings they can actually hide in and out. And we can see that actually Victor is gone. Corvus is gone, of course. Ruckus also banned, and Atlas. And I'm interested in Interstellar if they're going to go with Janus or Vivian. And they're going to go with Vivian, of course.
It seems like they just really want Barcode to feel comfortable. I mean, Barcode on Vivian, Barcode on Victor, things that we're going to see pretty consistently throughout these games. And Chromaspace, judging by what happened last game, I wouldn't be shocked to see a immediate, Terminus, run him down, put that Siphon in the face and deny some of that. But I think there's more angles for Vivian to rotate between. You can surround a Terminus a little bit easier if you focus on winning the outside fight. So Chromaspace, they pick for that. They pick an Androxus that can play outside and slow down the Terminus from getting surrounded, so he can focus a little bit more on his job of walk at Vivian and never stop.
Indeed, Androxus is such a great pick also. One of the best flanks in the game right now. And Ashe is going to be picked second. And of course, he gains so much from his ultimate in the first matchups, because you can basically just pop the ultimate and you're going to find a target inside the point. If you don't want to do that, basically you can fly across the map, go behind onto the stairs and get those kills. Maldamba is going to be pretty interesting right now with Ashe, and that's such a hell of a serve availability that you have at your disposal. Rom and Grover, the fact that they picked Rom, of course they're going to pick Grover. They want to have him, he needs to be free to do whatever he wants and just run back and forth. And they got Inara and Shaolin. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they want to get rid of that counter for him, but also have a really solid healer in general on this map. You can put him anywhere and pretty much heal the entire side of the map. But I gotta say, Interstellar, they have arguably one of the best tank combinations in the game of Inara and Ashe. A little bit of both there. Damba pairs exceptionally well with Inara. Pair that Speed Spirit speed boost up with Inara's Earthen Guard, run you down, and Shaolin to fill in, to deal with that ROM. You use that crippling arrow, hit that ROM during his dash, do with that. But Chromaspace, they picked out a weakness. I think getting that Willow, not only can you shoot Vivian's feet below her deflector shield when it's up, they also don't really have a great way to stop you. Vivian does decent trip damage, but not enough to kill a Willow Fae Flighting across the map. They're going to have to hope their Shaolin hits some miracle bows if Chromaspace charge up that Fae Flight fast enough.
And then again, Shaolin probably is going to be super occupied and focused on Rom just to block him from romming everybody over. It's going to take plenty of time and plenty of effort to just trying to smash the Chroma Space composition. And then again, I see the idea. They're pretty balanced right now. I'm just hoping that Willow does not enough. I mean, I'm just hoping that Willow is not going to be such a pain with the anti-heal and just going in over and over and over, trying to block Ashe and the Inara onto the point.
Yeah,
we're going to see. I think the game is ready right now.
Yep, I was actually about to throw it in. So you're reading my mind, Merlo. This is our first day together, and you're already You're already in my brain here. Both teams now are already on this map, Brightmarsh. I want to see if there's any interesting talents. Nothing really shocking. The only difference is going to be Ovim running Crush instead of Decimation. Crush on a map where you can actually get onto the Vivian. The reason you run that, it pierces the deflector shield when you do that, so it'll stun her through it. But it also, if Vivian gets CC'd in any way with deflector shield up, it goes down. So you can actually just take it out of the way, not have to deal with it, and then kill her right afterwards, because it's her main survivability tool. You can burst that down, and then anybody else can follow up on that kill and get it for you.
Indeed. By the way, as you said, for first time together, yeah, I'm just still getting used to it, of course, and English being the second language and
You're
no
doing fine,
native
Merlot.
speaking.
Do not worry about it, man.
I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm just trying my best. So right now, the first blood is going to go for Willow. Charlene is down, and on the other side, you see the combination between Rom and Terminus. They basically got everybody blocked onto the buildings and taking kills and taking names. Right now, Inara alone onto the point. That's 51%, but it's not going to last long because right now, Chromaspace, they basically dominated the entire first half of the round.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess I point out Enviel doing the classic flex of Kinessa to Inara. I guess not really one you see that much, but clearly a flexible gamer here with Interstellar taking this upper ground. Rom stopping them, but Coriel just gets out and some cleave damage that Interstellar have to deal with as they move in and touch this objective.
And right now the healer is gone, so it's going to be difficult for Chroma Space to actually keep the point. Terminus is going to be all alone, of course, no ultimate available, and Inara takes it back. Charlene doing an amazing job right now, hitting those miracle snipes, and Willow just got taken down by Ash as a cleanup kill. Of course, the point is going to go to Interstellar, and that's too bad because Chroma Space played very well into those first seconds of the matchup. Right now we can see Vivian trying to do as much damage as possible and just, yeah, she's just going down. There's no way about it. She's gone. She's done.
That pressure was great though, the follow-up I think by them, and here comes the Fade Flight too. Even with the Heat Haze coming out, I don't know if they can find them, they do, but they need to find more.
Indeed, right now Willow trying to make the plays. With the ultimate, Charlene gets taken down by Rover. We see Androxus completely blocked off by Inara itself. Inara tries to go in for the snipe and CC. No can do. She doesn't find anything, and Terminus is just gonna pile on her with the ROM right now. That's super difficult. She's still alive? Oh, she's still alive. She's being taken care of by Maldamba. Nobody's focusing him. He's really free to do whatever he wants. He's basically jumping up and down, hitting those right clicks, and that was a problem. She gained so much tempo for that.
What a ridiculous save by Kiesel on pocketing that Inara. You saw, they just couldn't kill Envil. They sent the Androxus just to fight the down, but they're like, all right, we're not killing this Inara. Just shoot whoever's keeping him up. But Kiesel even walks away. They throw away another life for it, and now Interstellar kind of have a free way to go in, but Coriel, he turns around, misses the stun, and an ultimate out of the picture with Interstellar with an advantage.
Now we can see that basically Interstellar are trying to push as much as possible and taking so many kills. Charlene, again, is the secret pick for this matchup, and they're going to try to push slowly. I don't know if 52 seconds is enough to actually try to take the payload back to town, but yeah, they're going to try to do the best they can. Right now we see Willow onto the side with all the others. Terminus is going to go in, super aggressive with Androxus. They're going to cover each other, but Charlene is still alive. Ash is still alive. They're trying to go aggressive. Oh, Gravity takes a kill against Charlene, and that's going to be Magic Rom just piling onto the backline. He saw Vivian. He saw right now Inara is blocked by this wall and takes a kill, nonetheless, with Androxus.
Both tanks pressuring up, and again, kind of a foregone conclusion that this fight should fall towards the side of Chroma. They actually don't notice that Ash is in the back, but again, that's just some little credits they're going to be happy to be picking up as that fight goes on. This ROM engagement, the fact that they're pushing on it so quickly is great, but it is a little bit risky. It only will really pay off, I think, in situations like this where you're so close to the payload capture. But think about it like this, right? When, let's say there was a minute left, and they do that same exact push where Coriel runs into the back line and everyone goes in, maybe having some people on the low ground, if it doesn't work right away, they can get pinched and collapsed on easily. But now that I'm looking at it, Chroma actually have a decent comp for that. If they dive, go in really deep, they can all get back to the high ground. Adium, Nepo, even Sensovsky can make it back up top. So not as risky as maybe I initially thought for them to be getting aggressive here. But Chroma, they have to repeat their success, I think, from the start of that mid, right? They have to find a way to isolate people on the side. They don't have the Cataclysm from the ROM or to make it work, but with Reanimate and Fate Flight, that's an engagement they can play off of, and Barcode might have to be careful to not get taken from 100 to 0 by a Fate Flight.
As you said before, they need to find that verticality, and verticality is key, because of course you're gonna have Rome just roaming onto the backline with Androxus and all the others. They have a pretty good chance to actually snipe them inside the building, and as you can see, they're trying to make as much as possible with the little they have. They played an amazing round before. Chromaspace, they just need to find their freedom, and yeah, verticality. As I said, we can see Willow going on with the ultimate. Rom trying with the Terminus to find a couple of kills, but nothing can do. Inara goes down. She was very well adjusted, and yeah, Willow just sniping inside the building, just jumping and trying to snipe, jumping and trying to snipe. They need a couple of kills more to take the point, and they're gonna do that. Androxus just took everything.
Yeah, there was. I actually liked how Interstellar played around it at the start. The fact that they had everyone just wait inside for the Fate Flight, but Chroma Space were patient enough, but Nepo, impatient, runs in, gets hit by the sand trap, and maybe gives Interstellar a leg to stand on.
Probably he's gonna take so much time to actually jump back into the fight, because Shaolin right now needs a break. Yeah, he needs a break because, you know, he's getting chased down by the ROM. We can see Ash actually going onto the side lane to snipe the Willow, and she does. That's a double kill for you. She's gonna jump back onto the point and try to spare some time for the team. It's 36%. They're gonna take and chase down the ROM. ROM is just like invincible right now, but it's not enough. You don't have a healer. Yes, you have self-sustain, of course, but it's not gonna be enough. And right now, Interstellar, they again gonna take the point and try to ram it into the ground. Shaolin takes another kill against Androxus, and yeah, he's hitting those arrows. Like, he's hitting that scan and taking kills.
Yeah, the Shaolin has been doing fantastically for them right now. Look at this. If they get aggressive, they might be able to catch them out here, especially with that AoE cripple. I don't know if they can find Zinsovsky, and they do right on the side. Enfield chases them down too.
That's pretty great right now. Rom, pretty isolated, is not going to survive as he goes so back into the far lane, and Ash quickly jump onto him to take the kill. That's amazing. They covered Maldamba, and they're ready to go. They got 2 minutes, and the cart is moving. It's not stopping for any reason. Right now, Shaolin... Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think that was smart. I think that was smart by the ROM. The fact that he ran into the back line, I just wanted to talk about it for 1 second, but
yeah.
Sorry, I can't even talk about it. It comes out early. Nepo finds too.
Yeah, double kill. But yeah, go on, please.
Oh, I guess I can't. Now I can. Now I can. There's a huge fight breaking out. Everyone's jumping off the map, Merlo. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take it from you.
They're just going for kills and kills and kills, and as you can see, they're trying to time this Ash out just to take a little bit more timer out of the tank, and that's good because they're playing on respawns timer and cooldowns, and they're playing very smartly.
Yeah, what I wanted to mention was Rom, he knew he was going to die, so he ran to the objective to make it happen. All right, never mind, another fight's breaking out. I'm just not allowed to talk about this. A Whirlwind's countering it, but Willow's staying alive.
Indeed, enabled by the Maldamba, but they're all packed up inside the building. Willow probably is going to snipe, but she gets taken down by Shaolin. And Vivian, my god, she's doing so much damage right now with the hip fire. They're going hard, and they're going at it.
Yeah, they're managed to clean them up pretty quickly. You can see the Vivian helping significantly against that ROM when they need that focus damage. Just having a Vivian doing it the whole time helps quite a bit. And maybe a wasted cooldown there by this Willow. Dead zone inside this room. They give it up, but the card wasn't around that corner yet. Only now are Interstellar really ready to go in, and Nepo taking way too much early damage, letting Enfield clean him up.
Watch out for Androxus, he's just got taken down. They're ready to go, but Rom is trying to take some time. We got 6 seconds to go for the main EPS, and then 13 more for the next body. And they're just gonna push, and it's gonna be a 3-1.
Merlo, I'm scared that they're about to get into a team fight right now. I don't even want to talk about what happened. Even if they're in the spawn room, I feel like they're just going to break down the door and start fighting again. I haven't had a chance to do anything this whole time. But no, the way that they played that near the end, I think Barcode is playing a lot smarter. I think he's not necessarily pushing out and being the first one through like he was in the previous rounds. He's playing it a lot safer. And that's what's paying off perfectly for them. He is in the back. As soon as they try to go all the way into deal and they have to go through the entire rest of the team, they can't do that. They can't get away with that to break through. So the Vivian getting maximum value most of the time here. Chromaspace need another answer to this Vivian. The Willow, good idea, but it's not hitting the same way it should be. Willow maybe has to go with the ROM with the Fate Flight, but Adium doesn't even have that Fate Flight ready to go.
Indeed, and now they're trying to take the point as fast as possible. Of course, Inara still has the ultimate. They can try to snipe right here. The Androxus is down. Watch out. Watch out. They just got everything under control. And yeah, they just kept the point, and it's going to be easy for them to go for a 2-3 and try to push, because right now, they got so much pressure onto that backline. You see Ashe a little bit too risky here. She's going to get punished very easily. But we still got Terminus onto the point. Vivian is going to snipe him down pretty easily. And there's just too many entrances where you can basically shoot down onto this Terminus as soon as he respawns. Right now, Androxus in a battle of wits against Shaolin. It's going to be 1 versus 1. Shaolin just doing magic, trying to hit shots. And Interstellar, once again, we saw the same thing over and over and over. They're going to take the point. They're going to snatch it right onto Chromaspace nose. 90%, 93%, 96%. They're going to try and counter this. The overtime is going on. Ram is alone. Ram is crippled. Ram can do anything. And yeah, Drover is going to be next. I'm sorry. I didn't ask for your technical opinion, but they were just fighting over and over and over.
Do not worry about it.
And they just took it.
You had the fight on lock, Merlo. That was totally fine. That fight never stopped. I mean, Ashe, certain dominance in the back, pulled them away, but the Grover healing kept them up. But the fact is, even with Ashe fighting those two people, they lost the 4v3 that was happening on the other side, right? Ashe locks out 2, but the number advantage still in favor of Interstellar because of what Snaze is getting away with in the backline, right? So even with that trade going in their favor, they lose that fight and they can't get the retouch because of this great flank by Barcode. I mentioned, yeah, he's playing safer. He's making it a little bit easier. He's making it a little bit easier for himself by not getting as aggressive. This time, he said, I'm going to do what most Vivian players don't do and use my brain and figure out when I should be going in on the side. So he sees huge fight happening. They're looking at my Ashe. Now I push through the left apartment, gets a kill on the Grover. Timing of that death means they don't have any heals to retouch at the end. You saw what happened at the very last second. Sensovsky running in with the Whirlwind just to die to get the overtime.
Yeah, that's the problem. Chromaspace played it very well. They actually each and every time got the control early. They did the numbers, but the problem is they basically went all inside one building or the other, and they just got packed up, and they were easy to actually get picked off by, of course, Barcode and the others. Shaolin making plays, sick plays against Androxus and Willow, and I think it shows by the damage, a little bit less than, of course, Vivian. But then again, as you said before, Vivian just goes with the left click, and yeah, she does damage. She takes kills.
Yeah, I mean, impossible to agree with that. Vivian does damage and gets kills. That is literally the perfect analysis. It's exactly what she does. She does plenty on the map and protects Kiesel too. This right? I know. How do I get paid for this, Morlo? It's Alba 4-1, undying effectively most of that game. Only one, I think, time where it fell apart. I'm assuming on that aggressive push that they had there. But the tanks on them, Coriol really kind of struggling. I think the Shaw and Vivian combined were a big part of that. He tries to go in, gets crippled mid-dash, and then gets burnt down by that Vivian from 100 to 0. I'm going to go back to the stats for 1 second because I want to see how much damage he took across that game. And yeah, 136,000, more than double everybody else. Only Ovim was even close. So I think Coriol just getting focused down so hard, couldn't do a lot of damage himself, and Chroma really just kind of ended up feeling like the odd man out during that draft.
Yeah, he was taking a lot of damage, and basically that results into just running in circles with Rom. You just need to go back and forth to try to make the most of it. And as you said before, what I didn't catch was him just not giving up or trying to get kill or tempo, but just enabling himself by going and running through the enemy team and saying, okay, I'll take some time. It's faster for me to just jump, take some time, block the PL, die, and then respawn in 9 to 10 seconds, then actually go back, try to get some heals, and take away from others. So yeah, that basically was it. And here, I didn't think that Shaolin was super impactful against Rom, because he wasn't going against Rom. Like, he was going basically against those flankers with a cripple, and it was pretty much set up. But yeah, he still had a hard time, but he did the best he could. And of course, with that composition, I think Chroma played pretty well. They just didn't have the punch to it. They just didn't have the force to actually take those 2 to 3 kills to enable the point. They got people in the enemy team very, very low many times, but they didn't have the chance to actually do the cleanup crew and take those kills.
Yeah, they had the damage, but nowhere to really chase it down just because of the
Yeah.
nature of the enemy composition. But Chroma now, they have another map in this pool if they want to do it. They have picks for the rest of this, more or less. Interstellar on match point. Chromaspace, they think the map they can beat him on is Splitstone Quarry. Chroma want to go to. And Merle, I'm not sure if you know this, but there's been a running thing for years where Chromaspace, it's been kind of a team that's been remade, reformed a million times, but it's always a Russian core. And for some reason, they're always just really damn good at Brightmarsh. They just always, even they were coming in as a minor league team and beating PPL teams last year on Brightmarsh, but only on Brightmarsh. So again,
Indeed.
Running gag, but seeing them lose on it to Interstellar, Chroma, now it feels like they're kind of reaching for what can we do? How can we turn it around on a map that we should have won maybe? Now let's go somewhere else and see what we can target. And interestingly, not a Zin ban. I misread the thing right next to me.
It's okay.
They do still focus the Victor, and they don't want to give
Victor.
Barcode that comfort pick.
And I understand Victor on Quarry. It's pretty good actually, because you have so much space and so much time to actually shoot down the enemy targets inside the main point, because it's so open. But
Yeah.
again, I think who gets the verticality in this particular map is going to take the win. We saw right now, of course, Ruckus is going to get banned and Droxus is going to get banned. Classical picks, they're going to go with the point anchor tank as their first pick, and it's going to be Atlas. Let me guess. Vivian for Interstellar.
You know what? You just might be right. I was in the middle of typing it when you said that.
I'm a genius.
Hey,
Of course.
Do you think they should be banning Vivian? Maybe. I mean, I get they beat it on Stone Keep, but like that was a triple DPS draft on a map where triple DPS doesn't really work. They're just giving him Vivian every game, and Barcode looks fantastic every single round.
And yeah, and of course, you say, okay, Barcode is an incredible player. He's gonna play. He's gonna get better each and every game because, of course, it's gonna be comfortable. And if you give him a comfortable pick, it's gonna do, regardless of the score, he's gonna do his damage. He's gonna do his pressure, regardless of the objective or the final person or enemy team you kill. Yeah, you're gonna do so much pressure. We saw that on Stonekeep against, of course, Terminus. We saw that right now on Brightmarsh just taking kills. And Jin coming up, Zin coming up, Janus coming up, Moldamba and Terminus. And basically it's the same thing, but right now we got Inara and Terminus onto the main point,
Yeah.
and that's going to be pretty interesting.
I like this because it's going to be Terminus in the off lane, and it's going to be so that they can't just run Terminus into Vivian. So now I kind of want to see what their answer is going to be,
Yeah.
right? When you look at this Vivian, they don't really have a way to deal with now the same way that they were before. It's going to be a different look for them. I think they're going to need a tank that can run it down. Maybe Ashe could be a pickup that they get just to get aggressive into the face of that Vivian and run into her, just play some AoE shots to go past the shield. But they go triple
gonna be
DPS instead. That is interesting to me. I feel like they're going to control around the Vivian and try not to fight her. But with Inara Terminus, they can't out-sustain this Atlas. They're just going to be giving up the point if that's the way they play.
I'm gonna be honest, I lost a little bit of my train of thoughts before. Second language,
Okay.
I know, incredible. But yeah, as I said before, verticality, mobility. If you have extreme mobility, you're gonna be able to take and enable those skills. So the fact that they took Willow and Meve, I'm really impressed because Meve basically has an incredible ultimate to just, you pop Midnight and basically you have in full control of the map. People are not going to be aware of their surroundings. So this Cassie and this Moldamba, they're going to have a very bad time. Because, of course, what you want to do with the Interstellar, or basically with the Interstellar team, you will go into the house, up into high ground, try to shoot down targets, and maybe try to cover each other just to keep Moldamba safe. But if you cannot see your allies each and every time, and if you have a combination with Willow and Meve, who are basically buffed from Janus, because you have like super healing, you also got self-healing as a Meve, you're going to be pretty safe. Apart from the like super unpredictable projectiles, because they're not super straight, you're going to have a pretty easy time with pounds and everything else. So I think that's going to be it. That's going to be the winning strategy for Chroma Space. But then again, Interstellar, very standard picks, very classic Vivian, very approachable Cassie. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how they play this in our Terminus once we slide into game here on Splitstone Quarry. talents. Don't have time to hover over all of them, but you're going to see Big Shield and Yomi, I think, are the most flexible ones here. And Decimation, you don't really need that crush when you're not worrying about fighting into that Vivian. No, not as much real value from it, but Chromaspace already starting on the side. I just don't know how I like Big Shield solo tank Atlas. He puts up that shield, and guess what? After this, he's going to be useless for like 20 seconds.
Yeah, and of course he's not touching the point because they know they need to enable a couple kills first because they don't have the ability to jump onto the point. And right now, Vivian goes down with the first blood. Janus takes it back. But yeah, that's not a good trade right there. We're gonna see Janus right now trying to shoot down the enemy tank because of course Janus is a support, but also it's a very good hit scan. He can do headshots, he can do damage. He's very able to do whatever he pleases. And right now Interstellar, yeah, they just jump on to the point. No kills are found, and they're just gonna take it. There's nothing they can do.
It's just chaos. I mean, Chromaspace just ran in circles that entire time. They just ran away, poking and giggling as they sprinted around the map, just giving Interstellar so much cap time. But when they finally put the Atlas on the point, he doesn't have any cooldowns to really live. But this push will be difficult, I think. It's really about what Barcode can find, but they're not even looking for Barcode. They're looking for the backline instead, and here comes the engagement from Interstellar.
Ooh, right now she's trying to do as much damage as possible, but then again, it's like a glass cannon strat. They need kills first, and if they don't kill, they're just gonna find bodies around them piling on. And as you can see, the Terminus right now trying to support Vivian onto the backside. They're trying to snipe and take and pressure, and they're gonna do that right now because the card is not stopping. 1 minute and 46, that's plenty of time to crush the opposition.
Look at this right now. Up top too, great map control, but maybe they're a little bit ahead of the team. It still has to go around the next corner. They take a lot of damage, but they have time to disengage, but they're giving up a little bit of room to Chromaspace.
Indeed, right now we can see Zem trying to do a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. Barcode just blasting through, and I don't think Chromaspace is gonna win this set at all. They need so much kill. They need to enforce those kills. Oh, that's a miss. That's a miss. He's gonna try to kill, but he's losing so much time. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Tough one. I mean, I don't think it would have really set them up for a kill. Coriel already ended up picking up that double earlier. Look at that. The respawn in Damba finds the Dread Servant, but they don't get a kill from it. It just keeps the Cassie alive for Interstellar to reset up for the next push, and they have Enfield back capping as well.
Watch out, it's gonna be hard for them. Oh my god, she goes down so easily. We still have a Janus ultimate, but you don't want to waste the resources right now. Yeah, they're trying to push and get a couple of kills more. 40 seconds to go. They're being pushed back hard from Zen, and Vivian goes down. Right now, Willow does the magic trick, and there you go, Atlas and all the others. Oh my god, did I just put a caster curse onto Interstellar? Did I just made him fail?
You might have done that. I want to look at the KDs. I usually don't look at it until the mid game, but how many kills does Coriel? Coriel has as many kills as the rest of his team combined on solo tank Big Shield Atlas. He is just cleaning up on all the damage the rest of his team is doing. But Interstellar, they have everyone alive waiting inside, and they have a chance to get this time as they go, especially with that miss again on the setback with Ovim also isolated in the back. Their team is too split to really try to hold this.
Remember, if Atlas dies, everybody dies. So right now, Inara is taking so much time behind the wall, and she's hiding, and Atlas is going back. Oh, Inara just taken care of from Meave. Atlas is gone. So right now, yeah, they have so much space to push and get the game because Terminus just respawned. And there you go. You have a second temp ready to go. Inara is gone, but yeah, you have everything. You can easily take another kill and just win. Terminus is there. He's going to absorb, and that's a desperate push. Atlas just trying to do as much as he can, but the shield is out in a couple of seconds, and he's alone. He doesn't have anything. He rolls back, but he doesn't have healing. Oh my god, Cass is just respawning, but they're taking so many kills right now. Interstellar, they're defending aggressively, and there's just me onto the point, if I'm seeing correctly, supported by a Genos, and they're just trying to make the plays. They're getting so much time. Genos, nobody's taking care of them, and me just basically took the point by herself. She basically just got so much time, 20 seconds. What was happening? Why nobody was focusing the Genos?
I mean, it didn't end up mattering, right? All I could think of that entire time was me trying to hit a fly that's on the ceiling. That's all that happened with the Terminus. He just could not do anything to that objective. The Genos didn't get shot, but it was the Maeve more than anything. He wasn't hitting the Maeve at all because she was out of his range. He couldn't connect a single point of damage, so just flying over it what was really what turned it around there. But the biggest, I think, thing that happened near the very end, the Dread Serpent by K-Kiesel goes right into the shield from Atlas and gets eaten. And Ovim spends the Fae Flight when the fight's already over, so 2 ultimates effectively hit a brick wall and do about nothing for their team. And now they're going to have less resources here, but Interstellar used theirs a little bit earlier, which means they're closer to getting them back. Plus, if Chromaspace played that same mid, they have to actually get kills this time instead of just running around and waiting for Interstellar to be the ones to make the mistake.
Indeed, and as you said before, you don't need resources if the enemy are dead, so I hope they can roll successfully the DPS strat we see Nara right now trying to take. We see the popping of Midnight coming on, but Meave does not take a kill. And then again, yeah, Interstellar, they're gonna have an easy time to take this point because, of course, you got just many bodies. You have more bodies than the enemy team. On the other side, you just got a solo Atlas. Yes, he's gonna get, oh, nice from Genos. This, of course, is gonna get healed, but then again, it's just one. It's just a single tank, and now the focus is on him, and the joke is on us because we don't know what to say. Because, of course, before she just took an entire point by herself.
Yeah, look at this flank right now. They collapse on this rotation out from them. This death ball not paying off, and Ovim and Adium end up cleaning up the entirety of the team. I thought the chaos might hurt them in the end, but they wipe the entirety of their roster with both the tanks getting staggered a little bit late too. I don't know how they're going to end up getting past here. It's going to be someone getting not dismounted, and Envil, excuse me, on this Inara could do it. Both tanks actually sneak past. And they're not going to be able to stop them. They're going to get this overtime.
Ooh, he got touched and blocked by Zin. That was amazing from him. Incredible play. Terminus is going to respawn, but he's outside the point. He needs to come back. He does not find a kill. Of course, everybody was distancing, social distancing from him. And right now, they're going to try to take another kill. Look at the Atlas just flip-flopping between walls. Oh my god, Zin is going to go down. And in Interstellar, they're going to find a point, but with a struggle.
That was a brutal end there. I mean, the both tanks, they spend the reanimate, they charged it back up during that fight, which is the craziest thing to me, that they had it back again. But spend the reanimate, they're all focused on the tanks, and it lets Tired on this Cassie do effectively whatever. But look at this push. Enfield kind of snuck past them and will force them out and even trade out into their healer.
Indeed, right now the payload is going smoothly, but I cannot believe what I'm witnessing. I do not believe what I'm seeing, because right now the game is super balanced. Of course, Chroma Space, when they find the space, when they find the kills, they're able to carry the entirety of the point in the game. But on the other side, you got Interstellar, such a tanky, bulky metagame right now that they're able to just push without a consequences. And right now, yeah, it's just Zin alone versus 5 people.
Yeah, he can try to buy some time. He has enough cooldowns to actually escape if it ends up going that way, but for now, he'll just try to poke from up top, and he hasn't contested once here. That time and space effectively finds nothing. This card got really close. Interstellar needs to burst out to help Enfield, but the Fae Flight's coming first.
Watch out, Atlas is trying to gain back some health. Willow is gonna snap and bring terror upon the skies. Right now, everybody's dying. Left and right Terminus is gonna be there, but it's so low on life. Moldava gets taken care of, and right now is just gonna be Inara and Terminus onto the point. And they're going to be able to survive. Once again, yeah, oh, yes, again. We see Atlas putting the shields. Oh, Inara was so low. Right now, with the wall, she just saved herself. Took a little bit of time. I think the kill is going to come from Zin. It's just Terminus and Zin against 3 people. Nobody can jump in. Genos tried to do the support onto the respawn, but no can do. And it's going to be a 3-2-1.
What a flip there near the end. I was so worried about Enfield, but Enfield managing to live and absorb the pressure from that Zin helped so much, because the Zin couldn't fight the backline until it was too late. Coriol's damage was completely shut down by the Siphon from Snaze. Couldn't find a way really to go past them right now, so Interstellar on match point if they manage to push this, to win this next mid-fight here. Looking at this build, all focusing on resetting sustain, and I think that's very smart from Snaze. He has been so tough to deal with on this Terminus. He's doing a lot of damage too. I mean, I'll go back to the damage charts, but for a Terminus, he's charging these reanimates so quickly. And that's the most important thing, because he's spending them on these pushes every single time, but I feel like he always has it back as they go here. But the roll for Interstellar should be the same, because they've looked great on almost every single one of these mid-fights.
Indeed, remember Interstellar always took the point when they had the chance because they just have so many tanky people. But then again, if they are getting killed left and right now we see the first kill coming on to Zin, they're gonna have a problem. There's no control at all against Zin, Willow, or the others. They're having so much problems. We see right now Cassie has the ultimate. She can pop it and probably give a little bit of information. And Maeve is just by herself.
She's going to save it to deal with the Midnight from the Maeve. Once Maeve charges Midnight, they'll just use the Scout, so it's not quite as effective here. But point control still completely in favor of Interstellar, plus Terminus finding another kill. They're going to have to throw Coriel on the point, and I don't know how long he'll last.
I don't know, because 81% is good to go. And once again, even though Chromaspace took the kills and they took so much space against the enemy team, they didn't have the bodies to just jump onto the point and hold it.
Or they could not and lose, as it seems like it actually ended up happening. Interstellar, the timing of Coriel going to the point was the biggest failing there for me. Coriel went in at 81%. You have to touch around 84, 87. Assuming they don't get off the objective to actually trigger overtime. That was the failing there. Coriel goes at like 78, so it's 81 by the time he rewinds. Of course, they just run him down and kill him, and then no one on the other team, no one on the side of Chroma is going to be willing to go into this point and actually give up their life for it because they need all of their DPS alive. Throwing in the back, so Interstellar, the double Stigala composition, the married couple of Inara and Terminus managed to kind of carry them to a victory in this set.
And as you can see across the board, there's not much difference between, damages. So basically, Barcode did almost the same as, of course, the flank onto the other side. And as you can see, the problem was not the DPS build, because Chromaspace were finding kills over and over again, and they actually enabled the point many times. The problem is that they didn't have an effective deny tool against those tanks, even though they had Willow on their backside. Willow died so many times because she was just getting sniped from Cassie and in combination with Vivian.
Yeah, they were using the Willow as Fae Flight and just general pressure to fight that Vivian, but Barcode never went down without a fight, right? Every single time we watched Ovim find a kill on Barcode, it was even trades. He ended up with 400 health. He's like, oh, thank God, and then just got sniped by Tired across the map every time. This Cassie, a huge force, I think, one of the most crucial pieces of what Interstellar did. If you're playing Cassie and you don't hit the Willow in midair and you don't hit the burst combo on the Xin, I think that's a different looking fight because the triple DPS managed to be fairly successful for them. But Interstellar, I mean, they came in from relegations, as we know, and they're kind of saying, hey, these teams that were in the PPC before, we're going to look solid against you. You're not going to necessarily continue your just rest on your laurels. We're the new talent. 7 weeks in, we know what we're doing, and we're going to be able to keep a fight up against you. But still, fantastic, I would say, by Interstellar to close things out against Chromaspace. It was a fantastic game to watch. Even though it was 3-1, it didn't really feel like it. It felt like still a pretty one-sided scoreline. But thank you guys for sticking around for Europe. We're going to head to a break, and on the other end of that, we're going to have Brazil. So stick around. We'll be right back.